Hi, welcome back, it's Susan. I've just made this card, so I thought I'd show you how to do it. I'm using the slatted dies today, the smallest circles and the smallest squares in the slatted die sets. So I've used all three to do the circle. So I'll just show you how I've done that effect. So cut them all out together. And then I've cut also the outer die, which is just the normal circle, to do a matte layer for it. And with the small square, I've done all three together on both of these. So you can see that beautiful stitch detail there as well. Now I want to tell you that these are back in stock. You can go onto the website, pre-order them. The $8.49 for a set, and you get 12 dies in the squares, 12 in the circles, and you know, they're from Craftaddictionuk. I've got a coupon code for Susan5 for an extra 5% off, and it's free P&P if you're in the UK. So I've got all my bits and pieces ready. I've cut a die out as well for decoration. I've got a piece of cardstock which is 5.5 squared. And I'm going to put some lines just for decoration. These embossing lines. So starting at 2 3/4, and I'm going up. And I'm just doing 5 lines, sorry, making it 6 lines, and then going 5 lines down. So I'm doing 1/8 of an inch less. To get that effect. I hope you can understand that. And arranging my die cuts, so I'm gluing those together, and I'm using the Sweet Petunia glue press. So just putting that onto the backing circle. But I'm not putting a backing on those squares because I've no need to. I just didn't want to put that on top of the squares and see the squares through it. So that is the look I'm going for. So I'm going to pop those down. Just using that centre as my guide and using the lines as well. Doing the same with the top one. So using those lines as a guide. And I'm being mindful that I'm going inwards to make the gap between the edge of the card and the die cut the same distance away from each other on each side. And I'm only eyeballing it, I'm not measuring it, but when I have checked it, it was spot on 1 inch in on both sides. And because I've got the horizontal lines, I want to do this circle of vertical lines. So raising that up on some foam pads. And this is why I wanted to put the backing circle on. It's a very easy, clean and simple card, yet so effective. So making that straight. And I've cut this dice out. It's from Spellbinders Vivid Blooms. Just giving it a little bit of shape. And I've just cut out some scrap paper. So popping some glue in the centre of those flowers. To put the inners in. And I want to keep it all nice and tonal, very clean and quite subtle colouring. An elegant looking card. And I think those colours go together beautifully. So while I'm letting that dry, that's how I want the actual stem to look. I'm going to put a sentiment on the card as well. And that's why I went 1/8 of an inch less with the score line at the bottom. Now, I don't know where I've got this sentiment from. It was a stamp set that I don't know what it's called. I don't know where it's from, by. But it just fitted how I wanted it to on this card. And I've chosen some Sahara sand to stamp it out with, because I want this to be very tonal with the flowers. Giving that another ink in. I didn't want to use anything dark, and black was definitely too dark for this project. But it's stamped out beautifully. So bringing those flowers back. I'm going to give those a little bit of dimension. So that is the colouring I wanted. For the centre of the flower, with that Sahara sand, it matched lovely. So getting a large ball tool, I'm just going to give the centres a press. This cardstock is quite strong, so I'm going to give it another one, but a little bit firmer. And placing the glue on those little heads where the flowers is going to go, the anchor points, and pop that on. It's such a very sweet spray of flowers. I think they're lovely. At the minute, the Spellbinders flowers are absolutely gorgeous, what they've got out. And I'm using the dots that we made. So I'm looking to see if one will marry up to the colouring that I'm wanting to put in the centre of those flowers. And I've got one. That's going to work lovely. So just pop in a dot of glue on the centre, just to give another added dimension to those flowers. And of course, because they're already done, they're good to go. If you need to post the card, send the card as soon as you've made it. There's no waiting time, they're not going to go flat, you're not going to have an accident on your project. Just put in the last few on. It's easily picked off that paper. And that's it, they're done. And it's made a beautiful spray. And that's how I'm going to have it, sat in the middle of that slatted circle. Beautiful. So just a few dots of glue to adhere that to the slatted circle. Now, as always, I will leave the link to Craftaddictionuk in the description, and if you press the more button, everything will be there for you, what I've used today. And don't forget that 5% off. I will put it in the description, Susan 5. So getting my base card, which is 7 by 7. I think I'm going to elevate this card. So getting my double-sided foam tape, and because we've already pre-made these drops, it doesn't matter, I can turn it over and do that, which unlike if you'd put the wet drop down, we wouldn't be able to do this. So it's taking that tape off part way on those corners. I'm going to hover that over my cardstock, making it central and placing it down. Just taking that tape out. And the card's done. So I hope you've liked it. Like and subscribe. The subscription is totally free. Ring that notification bell, you'll see all my videos when they come on. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.